Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Amanda Gold and I am a coach and an artist and an all around lover of the life situation. And yeah, welcome. If you come to this a lot or if it's your first time, welcome, and thank you for being here. It's nighttime. Usually I do these in the daytime, but I almost forgot. But then I remembered, I got you, and it's Try It Tuesday today. But I have a lamp pointed at my face. It's a little different vibe. Hopefully it's not too Blair Witchy for you. I altered it. It was really like, watch this, I'll show you. It was like this. My eyes look all crazy. Anyway, so having fun with lighting. But I'm here. I'm really glad I remembered. And so I've got something for you to try. How did it go last week? What did we do last week? God, I'll have to go back and reflect. I'm a little, it's been a long, beautiful, full day. So yeah, I'll have to go back and double check. But whatever I told you to try last week, I hope you tried it. I hope it had good, positive results. And this week I've got one that's a little advanced maybe, or you got to keep a little bit more of an open mind to try it out. But I cannot tell you how fruitful and deep it's been for me and healing, and it's been really cool. And it's actually kind of one I almost feel a little shy to share because it sounds weird or it sounds woo or a little touchy-feely weirdness, but this shit does work for me, and so that's why I'm here, is to be transparent and share my struggles and the things that I use with my own struggles so that I can be helpful and hopefully they'll work with your struggles. So this one is really good anywhere you have a really sticky place that you feel like you're being triggered, or there's this like wound there, or this place where you consistently act in a way that you wish you would act differently, but you feel like you just can't change it. So this usually is like a deeper wound, something you picked up earlier on, something that maybe happened when you were a kid. And I should say a little disclaimer, like I have a therapist. I've been in therapy for over 5 years. I've done a lot of work with professionals to kind of get to a place where I can do this kind of stuff. So I really urge you, like if there's something where you feel like you're in danger, you're really struggling with severe mental health challenges, or you're still in an active addiction, I really urge you to get help and deal with those things first. The stuff that I'm doing now on my own is after a lot of support from professionals and getting to a pretty stable, high-functioning place where now I'm just like digging deeper, and it's not like I've handled and dealt with and healed the bulk of the trauma. So I don't recommend this exercise if you're still kind of in that process of healing the bigger things, or like I said, in active addiction. So please just know that. And obviously this should go without saying, but none of this is like medical advice, or like I'm not a certified mental health practitioner or therapist or anything like that. So these are just like tools that I use on my own. And so user beware, right? Like know thyself, know what's going to work for you. If something's not right for you, or you're worried that it's going to open something up that's not ready to be opened or looked at, just be mindful of that, please, and take care of yourself first and foremost. Okay, but having said that, this is a practice that I really like to do, and it has to do with finding out who's hurting, okay? So specifically for me, how I've been using it is I've struggled mightily with body image issues. So disordered eating stuff, not liking how I look, being super insecure about my body. And so just like really picking that apart. And so one of the things, basically what this exercise is having a conversation with the part of you that's hurting or upset. So this is challenging because, well, this is how we like bypass a lot of our emotional wounds, or a lot of our feelings, is our logical, rational adult brain is like, well, get over it, or you shouldn't feel that way, or I listened to a podcast about fuck diet culture, and so I don't need to hate my body anymore, right? But there's still a part of me that grew up in this culture that says that my value is dependent on my body size, and or whatever your issue is, right? Like this has been a habitual thought that I've had for a long time, and I can't just get over it, okay? And in fact, that can make it worse. If I have like this adult part of me screaming at this injured, wounded, crying part of me saying, well, you shouldn't feel that way, just get over it, like that just doesn't help anything, right? So, and the reason I say this is kind of an advanced Try It Tuesday is because the reason I was even able to understand that I have different parts or different levels of my psyche or my personality that are feeling affected or wounded or trying to get my attention is because I have had many years of practice meditating and getting some distance from my thoughts and understanding that my thoughts aren't me. And so, again, I recommend having a practice like that where you can kind of pull back from your thinking and sort of observe it. You can be the observer, you can be the watcher, and see what thoughts are going on. So I have this practice under my belt, the being able to watch and see what thoughts are happening. And then I started to be curious about, well, who's feeling fat? Like when I look in the mirror and I feel ashamed, if I'm having a bad body image day, who is that? And if I get still and listen, I find that it's often something younger, smaller, from the past, and she has a voice and she has something that she wants to say. So I can either do that. There's a couple ways to access this and listen to that part of me. I will write about it. Like if you just sit down with a journal and just write, you can just let that kind of pour out of you uncensored. Non-dominant handwriting is really good for this too. So I'm right-handed normally, but if I'm doing this kind of work, I might write from that perspective with my non-dominant hand, my left hand. And it's constantly blown me away. It's one of those things where at first I was like, yeah, right, how will that work? That's ridiculous. But there's something about, since it's your non-dominant hand, you can access like a more childlike or subconscious uncensored part of yourself. So that can be really cool. These days so you can ask it a question in meditation, like, so I'll say like, who's hurting right now, or who's upset, or what's this all about? And then I'll sit and I'll go into stillness, go into meditation, and then receive that answer. And it's been endlessly fascinating. And through these kind of, when I have these sort of recurring issues and it's time to have like a conversation, like, okay, who's in pain here? Who is this right now that's really having this shame when looking at the mirror, or this rage when this person says something, or this disproportionate stress reaction? Who is that? I've contacted like a few different parts of myself that kind of keep reoccurring. So I've got the young kind of like 3 to 5 year old child part of myself that I'll do work with. I've got like an angry teenager part. And by the way, there's a lot more to learn about this. Like I kind of just started doing this on my own. And then later I found out like there's therapy around this. I think one of them is called internal family systems is something that talks a lot about something like this. And that was really cool to find out, because this was just something that arose naturally for me. And then to find out that, first I thought I was kind of crazy, right? Like, sorry, I know it's not like super great to use that word, but I just felt kind of shy about it or whatever. But no, it's actually a thing and it makes a lot of sense. And there's a lot of, if you're interested in this, there's experts around it, and there's more study and research you can do. Okay, but anyways, so I've got this younger version, I've got like an angry kind of teenage version, and then I do have the me now, and then there's like there's like this critical angry part, and she's been very interesting to communicate and have a voice as well, because I've found out that she's not an enemy and an asshole like this inner critic, but she was actually trying to protect me and keep me safe. So I know this might sound weird, but I really can say that like practicing this and like giving voice to these different parts of myself and just letting them share what's got them upset or what is going on, like instead of just asking myself like, why am I upset, but really pretending or visualizing that I have this like other part of me that I can have a conversation with, has been so insightful. And it's actually when I've sat down and invited those parts of me to share freely and then listen to them and honored them and had respect for them, these really cool dialogues happen and shifts happen. Or like, I've had conversations with the part of myself that's very attacking and judgmental, and then I get a chance to like stand up for myself or explain like why I'm not doing that thing. And I don't know, I've done this practice where it's motivated me to play guitar when I hadn't done that for years, and that was super cool because I've been missing it so much. And it was like my angry teenager that finally was like screaming at me in one of these conversations to have to play more guitar, and you used to want to write music, and you used to want to be in a band, and you don't even play anymore. And like she was all upset and neglected, right? So I went out and played guitar, and it was so great and healing, and I was like, fuck yeah, thanks. So I realize this can sound a little scattered, like, oh, I have this part inside of me that I'm talking to, but it really is, it's all me, but there are just all these different facets to my existence and different parts of me that need healing and need attention. And I really believe in whatever it takes this is why I consider myself a creativity coach. Like, we need to get creative when we're dealing with this stuff. And if it takes like visualizing a part of you sitting outside of you and talking to that part, that can really help you get access to like deeper feelings or like healing different things that maybe you couldn't heal before. So it's just think of it as like a creative way to look at an emotional issue or a problem in your life that maybe you weren't getting much traction around before. So just in the last few days, I've been really practicing it, and it's been so helpful. And I actually feel, when I do this, I actually feel more integrated, and I feel like I access this really higher part of myself, my ultimate true self with the capital S, that's sort of like tending to all of this and like healing everything. And ultimately, there is just this one whole awesome part of myself. And here's a clue, like anytime you're feeling shitty about yourself, that's like a disconnect, right? Because our true nature, I believe, is to know that we're worthy and loved and perfect just as we are. So it's always been a clue for me if I'm thinking shitty about myself, because Source doesn't think that way about us. So it's just a mistake. And this can be kind of a cool, fun way to look into that a little more deeply and really take some time to care for yourself, all of yourself, even the parts you might feel ashamed or want to reject or wish weren't there. This is a way to just be more welcoming to all of you and all the pieces and facets of you that have something to say. And really, too, even in the parts that feel like they're being nasty or being less than admirable, like they're being weak or they're being shady or whatever it is, whatever part of you that's showing up that you want to reject or push away, just know that like if you give it a chance to, if you just kind of like invite it to say its piece, and just don't reject it right away, usually there's I found there's a gift there. Like, there's nothing in us that's bad necessarily. There's just like misguided, ignored parts of us that kind of get riled up and like try to get our attention in different ways. And if we give them that attention, then we can find ultimately under all of it is good, and that everything is for us and happening for us and for our highest good. So hope this wasn't too weird. Give it a try. If not, I will be back next week with a brand new Try It Tuesday. If you do try this, or if you're trying these things, please post in the comments. I'd love to hear how it's going, what your experience has been with this stuff. And also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, shoot me an email, amandagoldmakesart@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear from you, and I will talk to you Thursday with Thursday Thoughts. Okay, bye.